On both June 4th and 5th, Mira Costa's PACE organization put on the event every 15 minutes. The project takes place prior to prom in order to show students who are attending after parties the effects of drinking and driving. This year, around 60 students were pulled out of class by the Grim Reaper, and their obituary was read to their classmates. Once a student is taken from their class, they are then considered dead and no longer allowed to communicate with anyone for the next 24 hours. Junior Cole Kiefer was one of these students.
I had to go around class all my class periods and not say anything to anyone, and then my parents had to send an obituary to the police department that was read when I was pulled out of class.
On the initial day of every 15 minutes, there was a simulation put on by the students with both a car crash scene and the authorities on site in order to make the process seem more real to students.
The goal of the event was to raise awareness about drunk driving and the potential tragedies that it can cause. There was the assembly which showed a simulated drunk driving accident, and that was the goal was to try and get people to understand what could possibly happen.
Costa students all gathered on the field as students involved in the program, like senior Jordan Cohn, took the role of the dead person in the simulation.
Hey Dave, I'm going to need a couple of people to transfer her over.
I think that it's a very interesting experience because it lets you see what it really is to be influenced and have a drunk driving accident happen without actually having to experience loss. But it kind of is a simulation, and the fact that we have all the real parts minus the casualties, which I think is really important, especially for high schoolers.
The students who took the role of the deceased in the simulation were not the only ones who went through a lot during the two-day event. Freshman Barry Cohn struggled when it came to seeing her sister act as dead in such a real setting.
Seeing my sister die at the fake car crash simulation was really hard because we're so close, and it was just really seeing her, sad seeing her die because it just seemed so real.
To make the scene even more impactful on students, a policewoman on scene read all of the obituaries of the students who had died on site.
The hardest part was definitely when they read the obituary after she was pulled away. Hearing my name being called and all my family members was really difficult, and then not being able to see her for the rest of the night was really sad.
This year's Every 15 Minutes event was considered successful by Costa students and supported students when it came to making the decision to not drink and drive.